Hello.
Okay. So Arunji has said that please mute everyone. So I am hoping that everybody has kept on mute. Perfect. So the beauty of the program is that within one program you get 4 international certifications, 3 for different specialist certification, and the 4th one is the final CFP certification that you get. So within let's say 8 to 9 months that you spend studying this program and qualifying the exams, what you get entitled with is 4 international certifications in personal finance. That itself is a very unique feature, and that's a very powering feature of the program, right? Because you see, typically people spend years in doing one program, and what is happening here is within one program you are getting 4 different specialities inbuilt with regard to knowledge and with regard to the skills and with regard to certifications. So on all these parameters, it stands to be truly a 4-in-1 program. So valid in 27 countries. This, all of you who are here already know this is an international mark of certification. You already know. So I'm not repeating that. What is new? What has changed vis-a-vis the old program to the new program is old program was 1 certification. This is now 4-in-1 certification. So that's one major change from the old to the new curriculum or the new structure, the new framework. So this is how the new program looks like. Those of you who have attended our webinars earlier or who have interacted with us earlier know it that yes, now it's 4 graded or 4 level wise or 4 segment, you can say, in the curriculum. So level 1 is about investments. That's upon completion of level 1, you get investment specialist certification from FPSP. So what you study in level 1 is about equities, mutual fund, investments, investment planning, financial planning, that part. Level 2 is about retirement and tax. So it's again, it has 2 modules within it. I'll come to that as well, as in what exactly do you study in that level 2. And then level 3 is risk and legacy. Level 4 is CFP final. So CFP final is more of a very strategic level here. So it not only prepares you, if you look at the new curriculum, it not only prepares you to be a qualified financial planner, it also brings you, teaches you a lot of behavioral finance skills too. As in, how are you going to manage your clients? Once you become a qualified financial planner, how are you going to run your business? How are you going to advise your clients? Yeah, so those skills also get inbuilt. So net, if you look at the CFP program, it's not only about conceptually understanding personal finance, it's also about how to be successful in personal finance business or a personal finance career. Yeah, so that's what the program is structured around. I'm again taking a break. I have a few charts to read. So, okay. I am very sure my team is taking note of these charts. I will be coming to all these charts. I'll answer all these charts one by one. Kanhaiya, if you are there, you can always keep taking note of the charts. I will be answering them at the end.
Sure, sir.
So coming to the detailed curriculum. Yeah, so this is what detailed curriculum of CFP is now in the new framework. For that matter, you may feel that not much has changed. Yeah, the previous curriculum and the new curriculum, not much has changed. You may find it in one look, but then that's not the fact. With the new curriculum, if you look at it, what has been done is every module has been divided into 2 segments, a global part and an Indian part. So in the global part, you study, so let's say, for example, equity. So, or let's say personal financial management. So when you study personal financial management, you study the global elements. So global elements meaning to say, let's say time value of money, right? So that's a global element, whether in India or in US, the time value of money will remain the same. The formulas will remain the same. The computations will happen in the same manner. right? So that's a global element of it. Whereas, let's say using the same thing, the same time value of money computations on a typical home loan scenario. Now, home loan cases, the conditions, the terms may vary from India to other countries. Now, assuming that you are going to handle, in 99% cases, you are going to handle clients in India, so you will also be studying India-specific content, right? So the same thing, what you study from a global perspective, this exact same thing you study from an Indian perspective as well. The applicability of the same in the Indian environment. Similarly, let's say regulatory environment in the first level, if you see. So regulatory environment, if you study about taxation, the laws, the regulatory things, the compliances, you will study the global norms as well as the Indian norms. So that truly makes the entire program very unique because it's not restricted to just India. It's not restricted to just being a global program. It's a true amalgamation of bringing the global and the India specific elements in the same program. Yeah, so getting you ready for one, working in India, doing your own business in India, or even looking for a global career. Yeah, so that's what is the, one second, let me have water. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so that's what is the true speciality of the structure, the framework, that this is much more powering now. And why this has been done, so while this restructuring of the program was being done, FPSB team has spent, trust me, months and months of their research doing with the industry, doing with all the stakeholders, doing with the regulators, as in how this program can be made more industry integrated. How can it be made a program where industry loves to look at? Yeah, though industry has always loved to look at CFP as a program, love to hire CFPs, but then even then more powering the same. Yeah, so that's what the effort has been, and in that direction only the entire restructuring has been done. So making it more global, teaching you a blend of global and India specific elements. If somebody is just drawing lines and etc. there, can I request you to please stop doing that? Yeah. Or else I will have to block everybody in that case, right? I have kept it on because Arunji also might need to write something or explain something. And okay, perfect. Now coming to the CFP final level, if you see. So I was telling you that the CFP final level now is more of not only in that you not only learn about the financial planning as a skill, rather you learn the financial planning as a behavioral aspect as well. How are your clients going to behave? How do you engage the clients? How do you work with clients? What are their perceptions? How to develop a plan for them, right? So it's a balance of execution and a balance of managing your client or managing your business, right? So the whole program put together, if you see, the new CFP framework not only prepares you to get the right skills of personal finance, it also powers you with the right skills for developing your business or developing your professional career. Yeah, so that's where this program is focused around. Well, so that's enough about the program. I have a few more things that we can always come back. But then because I have Arunji with us, so now I will like Arunji probably to answer me a few things and share his years of expertise, years of knowledge with all of you. And then you also have the liberty of asking questions. You can write your questions in the chat, or you can raise hands. We will allow you to ask questions. Yeah. So Arunji, are you prepared? Should I put you on the spotlight?
Yeah, sure.
1 second. So let me put you on the spotlight so that people get to see you, not me. Yeah, so I hope now everybody can see you, Arunji.
Thank you.
So Arunji, the first thing first, because you yourself have been a CFP, and that too with decades of experience in the industry, and that too having worked with multiple functions in the BFSI domain, right? So how do you find CFP qualification, CFP certification, or CFP as a program being being very catalytic for the knowledge and growth for careers in the financial world?
Thank you, Rajesh, for having me. And nice presentation. You have given a brief overview. And as everybody would have seen, that the CFP program, and now we are talking about the new program, it covers all aspects of the personal finance. And in a bank, when you work, so basically you are not only dealing with corporates, you are also dealing with the retail banking. You are part of retail banking. So I have been part of a branch. I have been heading branches in the year 2003, 4, 5, and I have been dealing with the individual clients. And even after later on, even if I worked in department like treasury, department like corporate banking, department like cash management, there also you are dealing with people, and you have to have the kind of relationship when you meet them. So obviously there are two parts. So whenever I have worked in the retail banking side of the bank, I was dealing with individual depositors and they were also investors. So my knowledge of CFP obviously helped. And when I was in corporate banking, I was obviously having the business development roles most of the time. And I was talking to a lot of CXOs in the corporate world. And there on the personal level, to have that kind of rapport, if you have some knowledge about personal finance, that always helps. So in a way, I can say that my being a CFP has helped me tremendously. And over a period of time, whether I have worked in treasury or worked in a specialized department like cash management and other departments, it also helped there also. Because somewhere you have to connect to people in this world. When you go out and join any organization, forget about a bank, you have to have that relationship bias, which is very, very strong. Because obviously you need execution, you need the knowledge of the subject, but you also need the relationship skills. And if you have knowledge of personal finance, I think this is one skill which connects you with the people. So I think this is the major advantage which I got. And the way I have progressed in my career, I have worked only in one organization, that is primarily UTI Group. UTI was a mutual fund when I joined, and they wanted to set up a bank. So I shifted from UTI mutual fund to UTI bank way back in 94. And then within the bank, I worked in different departments. And then finally, for the last 10 years, I was heading at the senior most level, earlier as a joint MD and then as an MD as Access Securities, which was primarily a brokerage and wealth management firm. So I think in my career, the CFP has played a major part. But overall in finance, if you have to succeed, I think CFP is the course. It is one of the emerging area which is definitely in the near future is going to do well, because people need a personal trainer, people would require a personal planner, because the way our country will grow, because the kind of demographics we have, I have no doubt in my mind the country is going from medium to long term. There are people who are going to be more richer, who would require a lot of financial planners. I think if some of you or all of you are thinking about this, I think this is a great feeling. As of now, you are at the right place at the right time. That is what I feel.
Arunji, the next question that comes to my mind is, you did your CFP way back in 2006, right? If I'm not wrong, 2006, right?
Yes, yes.
So 2006, when you did it, you were already in the corporate world, right? So what made you to think doing CFP? And then follow-up questions on that would be that now almost 20 years after that, how much relevance do you find in that?
Good question, Rajesh. So at that time, I think it was the requirement and it came at the right time. Uh, 2006, UTI Bank that time set up its wealth management department, and I was part of that new department. And at that time, FPSB approached us, and so it has come at the right time for me because you are setting up wealth management, and there was a course which was a globally recognized course. So I think that time it was a necessity and it came at the right time. But over a period of time, even after I left wealth management, I went back to treasury, I went back to some other department in corporate banking. It continued to help. And in my last 10 years, as I told you that I was heading a brokerage and a wealth management firm. So it was primarily the first part of CFP, what you say, the investment planning and the type of, because on Access Direct platform, which was our flagship property of Access Securities, I think we were selling almost every product, right from mutual fund, and we were doing insurance. We were obviously having equity. I think this is all in all, and I can also share with you that
Zoom has revolutionized the way teams communicate.
because I was a
Whether you're
CFP,
connecting multiple conference rooms or meeting
that
with
helped.
attendees from your desktop or
I
mobile
think there is some disturbance somewhere.
coming together face-to-face
Can I
with
request the audience to mute?
With the highest
To go on
video
mute,
and
please.
audio quality, bringing your team together on Zoom feels just like you're all in the same room.
I think there is some disturbance, but so
Yeah,
okay.
no, it's fine, Varunji. Yeah.
Yeah. So in one way, I can say that I can give my credit to my last assignment, which was heading Access Securities, to this qualification also, because within, within a bank, if you have to look at internal candidate to head a subsidiary, you will obviously look at the profile. And because I had a profile of CFP, and obviously my interest also in the field, so maybe in a group of 4 or 5 people, I got the chance to head that subsidiary because I had some basic knowledge about personal finance. So in a way, I can give the credit to CFP also that I landed up this job. And obviously, once you are passionate about a particular thing, you obviously excel. And we have done definitely great job at Access Direct. We were fastest growing broking house for 3 years in a row, and we were growing faster than much bigger entities at that point of time. I think this has helped in my career tremendously.
Okay, Arunji, the kind of curriculum or the curriculum that you studied in 2006, way back in 2006, and the new curriculum where you have the level-wise graded certifications. So now, one thing that comes to my mind is level one, the moment you do level one, that is the investment specialist, right? So you kind of get ready for at least getting placed somewhere at an entry level role as well. And I had seen at our parent organization, Bajaj Capital as well, we have a mandate there that anyone who is CFP L1, CFP level 1, he gets hired there, right? So what is your take on it? With this graded thing, the level-wise certification coming up, uh, is this going to multiply the career opportunities and is it going to open new doors at each level now?
Absolutely, Rajesh. As you said correctly, earlier we had the CFP and AFP and level 1, 2 and all. But now I think there is a clear-cut distribution. Then if somebody has done investment planning and he's going to the right kind of company, maybe all mutual funds, banks with wealth management department, where they primarily need investment planning people. And now you have a certification which you will get as a investment planning specialist instead of AFP and all. So that itself looks like a complete certification. However, I would advise that one has to try to do all four because you never know that over a period of time you may get more opportunity. And obviously, if an investment planning guy also knows retirement, also knows tax, is always an added advantage. But even one certification to start with will give that person a slight edge over others. If he's part of a banking setup or a mutual fund setup of a brokerage setup, I think that's definitely a much better idea and much better way to approach CFP. And I think I should we should welcome, we should thank FPSB to look at this and do this change.
Arunji, in the new curriculum, again, coming back to the new curriculum only, as I was also explaining in the previous slides, that there is a good mix-up of global as well as India-specific content, right? So
Yes.
how much of I have some very bright students out here as well who are who may be looking at it as building a career somewhere in and working somewhere in the countries like USA, Canada, Australia. So how much of global this global element in the curriculum going to help them in that mission?
Yeah, so it is always good because now your landscape is entire world. The way we are connected, and nowadays I think you would have noticed in the pandemic, and almost every day we are attending webinars, and people are sitting in Toronto or New York, and somebody sitting in Mumbai and talking. So if that kind of opportunities are now existing, that you are sitting here and you can do a planning, someone sitting in Canada. So I think this kind of opportunities will be there, and there are other courses obviously in India where you will get the laws, local laws knowledge and all. And there is someone who knows a little bit about the global laws, global tax, cross-border taxation and all. It is definitely going to help, and it's a recognized course in 27 countries. So obviously this is going to definitely have a slight edge over other certification. And if over a period of time somebody wants to shift to some other country, and maybe to each country the FPSB FPSB US would be examining that what kind of recognition, or maybe you have to pass some new courses and all. I think these things will come. So that way it's a win-win. It's definitely a much better proposition to look at a course where you get a little bit of global exposure. When you are nowadays looking at your Prime Video or Netflix and other, and you watch movies across the world, so everywhere it's converging. So maybe it is always better to have a global exposure, or go to a course where there is some global exposure is there. I think we should welcome this, and it's a great opportunity sitting here that one is getting sitting at home and do this course.
Arati, you have been a very frequent visitor, the guest speaker, the mentors at some of the topmost institutions in in the country, like IIM, ISB, and you had coached a lot of these IIM alumni as well, right? They have worked under you for so many years.
Yes.
One thing that comes to my mind of late, I have seen a lot of these guys coming from very topmost institutions as well, getting into the investment advisory space, building their own firms, building some fintech startups, becoming investment advisors, right? So all of these top-notch institutions, alumni, and the pass outs, they have also started thronging to this space now. Right. So one thing that I wanted to understand, because you have closely been working and mentoring these, college grads. So I wanted to understand is that, does that indicate that this is a sign that a huge market is evolving in the personal finance and in personal finance space in India, and there is a need for a very high need for the qualified professionals in that area?
Yeah, again, a very good question. So when I used to go to all these colleges, and I think still I am going to some. So one or two things which I used to talk to them, that the basic things. Maybe sitting in a IIM and a good B school, I think everybody has this impression that now the job they will get easily and they can perform anywhere. But I used to always ask a question, and that question was that you would have heard that people are assets, and everybody will say yes. And then obviously I had to remind them that no, only good people are assets, because that is the harsh reality of a corporate world. And at the same time, efforts are rewarded. No, only results are rewarded at the end. So I think these are two harsh realities when you join a corporate world. Now, if you have to be a good employee or asset, then maybe you have to invest. And if you look at careers, so if you look at the traditional career in finance, you would obviously go and join a public sector bank, private sector bank, go to a mutual fund, go to an insurance company. So these are some old private sector bank and all. But if you look at some newer areas, the emerging areas, so one was obviously cyber security and all, some kind of a fintech. But another emerging area which we have seen in the last 2-3 years is now the personal finance. And I think this is, I'm keeping it as part of the emerging career, not the traditional. Because I personally feel that over next few years, there is going to be huge demand of financial planners, because on one side, our regulator is also trying very hard that people should not go to a person who is basically trying to missell. And so there is going to be obviously more demand for fee only. At the same time, if you want to do distribute, obviously you can do it either way. But at the same time, the right kind of integrity, right kind of ethics, everybody will look at when they select a planner. So I think in that context, if I look around and try to find one single course, I think CFP comes to my mind. And that's why I'm saying this is the emerging area which will do well the years to come.
Arunji, when you say the regulators, or the moment you quote regulators, or these maybe these strategic institutions, strategic forums, strategic organizations, I am taking this offhand. I'm asking this on a personal note. So I have also got to know that you have been invited by CII, by the chairman of CII, to be on the CII National Committee of Financial Markets.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. And yes, this is a good opportunity for me, because earlier I was going to these committees because I was heading an organization. Now, even after I have left that organization, so in the capacity of a finance expert or a market expert, they have invited me. And in as part of CII, I would be talking to regulator, I would be talking to many firms, and almost all industry leaders are part of this CII National Committee on Financial Market. So I think this is a great opportunity, and I'm going to contribute in the financial planning movement, and there will be more opportunities to talk to SEBI at regular intervals. I think that's a good opportunity for all of us.
Arunji, I am taking a pause. I am keeping my questions separate for a while, because I can see the audience getting restless talking to you. Right? They have this privilege of talking to you. So I will be taking up their questions one by one, and maybe I'll also unmute some of them and will let them talk to you directly. Yeah?
Yeah.
So I am taking a few questions first. So somebody is asking, hi, does these certificates have expiry? Yeah, so these certificates have expiry. I am taking the questions which Arunji, as an industry expert, can answer well. These technical questions that we can also help you with, not a problem.
Yeah. So we have Rajesh and we have Alok also. If there are some specific questions, I think we can handle. But yeah, as Rajesh said, that yes, more strategical and tactical question which I can answer, I would definitely try to answer.
Okay, so one of the participant is saying that I am already enrolled with this course, but I am wondering, is it wise for me to stick around, or should I leave it?
So I think sometime opportunity knocks very softly, and if you don't listen to that opportunity, then maybe at some point of time you are going to ask yourself that why you didn't pick up that opportunity. I think that is what I would say, because if at this point of time, when you are part of a country which is demographically the best place in the world, which is going to do well from medium to long term, where people are going to be richer and where there will be a need of more and more planners, leaving this course at this point will not be wise. That is what I will say.
Arunji, I have one participant, Amol. Amol comes from insurance sales background. Yeah. And he is asking that how this program would be beneficial in insurance sales.
So as we know that this course is the entire package. It is not only investment, it is not only retirement, it covers the entire thing. Whether you are investing, whether you are protecting yourself, whether you are preserving your wealth, whether you are passing your wealth to the next generation. So I think whatever you do, whether you are doing insurance or investment or pension or retirement planning, I think this is the best complete course if you want to be a certified financial planner. And I think this is the course you should definitely go and do it.
Arunji, I have a very bright young girl with us, Divyansi. Divyansi is saying, I have just passed class 12th recently. Should I go for CFP? How will it help in my career?
So it's as simple as that, that there are people who decide at the early part of their career whether they want to be an engineer or a doctor. And if you have decided that you want to get into the personal finance space, I think that is the right decision. And maybe as per the whatever the procedure is, you have to check up and apply for this. And over a period of time, then you can get internship with some practicing CFP and make a career in this field.
Another question is, how is it different from NISM certificates of investment advisory, retirement planning, all those?
So I think there are so many courses. Somebody was asking, I read the chat. Somebody said CFA, somebody said NISM. So
Yeah.
in some of the places, these are complementary, and some of the places you need not do both. You can do one, depending on your time, depending on your interest. And if you are getting into a personal finance space, and maybe at some point of time you also want to get into a fee-only advisory, I think certified financial planner is the unique course which gives you an advantage. So rather than talking about that you should not do this, that, and all, I would say that I am a CFP, and personally I feel that CFP is definitely a great course, and this will help you to make your career in this personal finance world.
Okay, so there is Siddhant. He is asking that he comes from a technical background. Okay, he may be an engineer. He comes from engineering background, and he wanted to know that can I pursue this because he does not have a background, does not have knowledge in finance and investment, but he is excited about it. So he says, should I pursue this and complete all the modules?
Yeah, sure, because you don't require knowledge of specific, because this banking and finance, the BFSI word is not a rocket science. And if you have been an engineer or a technical background, and that means you have that kind of an IQ, and banking, BFSI and CFP is more of a EQ and IQ combined. So I think this is the course which will not be difficult. We don't have, if you have done engineering on a technical course, you know a little bit of mathematics. So maybe that will also help you here. But at the same time, you should have the right kind of a temperament and right kind of relationship skills also, and a passion. And you said you have the passion. So maybe this is the right course.
There is Nitin. He is asking that if I complete this course and then after that register with SEBI, and can I open my own firm in personal finance and investment advisory?
Yeah, obviously, because if you have to take that RIA license and you want to practice, but I would advise you, before you do that, I think better join a practicing CFP, and now there are many in the country, and maybe work under him or her for an year and get some exposure, and maybe then you can start. And FPSB India is also going to come with some kind of a programs which will help someone to set up the practice.
Another participant, Arunji, he is asking that he is into the financial services industry already, and he has been there for almost 4 years. And he says that I am looking forward to do CFP, but then I am not pretty sure. I have not been pretty sure till now. I have been just trying to contemplate, will it be a right decision? How will it impact my career growth, etc.?
So I think answer to this lies with you, because everybody has to define a success for himself or herself. So if you think that you have an interest in this, if you think that yes, India is going to do well, if you think that there will be need of more financial planners, then maybe you have to take a call at some point of time. And if you can look at my experience and the way I have progressed in my life, and I can only share with you that it is going to be a very satisfactory career, because the way when you talk to people, you also get a lot of satisfaction, and when you solve their problems, when you look at their problems. So personally, if you ask me, I was very passionate. I like this career and I like this course. So hopefully you also have similar kind of mindset. Then yes, and if you obviously feel something else, there are various career available. But if you have a thought, please try and think about it and write it. I always tell that please write it on a paper and look at the pros and cons, and maybe then decide whether you want to go for it.
Okay, so now Anandji, I'm going to open up the forum. I will let people to talk to you directly. They are pretty excited about, a lot of them are requesting in the chat to unmute them. So I'm going to open up the forum, but my only request to the audience will be that come one by one, tell your name and tell your question. Yeah, first say your name and then ask your question. Yeah, now you can unmute yourself one by one and go.
Good evening, Mr. Arun. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
This is Sunil Kumar Gupta. I'm from Delhi.
Yes,
Let me
Sunil.
tell you, I'm having 23 years of experience after doing my mechanical engineering and MBA from IIFT.
Mm-hmm.
And recently I found that there is a saturation in my line going forward. Though I'm working as a consultant for construction equipment, but I have decided to opt for CFP because for the last 10 years I'm working in stock market very successfully. So I found CFP as a medium to I was not authorized to advise people on the stock market, but CFP I'm finding as a medium to get an authorization to work for a stock market. Am I right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
It's not only stock market; it is the entire financial space.
Yeah. See, basically, I'm in more focused on a stock market. I'm more of a stock market oriented.
So my advice to you is that if you go to your client and then you tell that you have done CFP only for stock market, that is not going to be the right way.
Okay.
Maybe this when you join this course and when you do this course, you will definitely appreciate the importance of other asset classes. You will also look at asset allocation. You will also look at protection, that is insurance. You will also look at tax, and you will also look at the estate planning. That entire umbrella is the certified financial planning, and obviously you will know more about equity markets also, which you say that you have already knowledge of. So maybe this is going to help, and this is going you more credibility when you go to your client, because you have an interest in.
Yeah, your point is well taken. But just a second, small part of my second question is, how do you think that we should pitch our CFP logically to financially literate the customer?
So I think for that, if you have to talk to people who don't know finance, so just think of a doctor who has done his MBBS and MD, and you go to him and you have not done obviously you have not studied MBBS, and then he explains you what problem you have, because you are ignorant there. You are like that financially illiterate guy. So he tells you, yes, you have this problem, this is how it happens, and then you have some faith on him. The same way you have to go to that financially illiterate person and tell him that how he has to do his asset allocation. If he is underweight on equity, why should he invest in equity? And if he is investing in equity, that he should go and buy the best stock or a mutual fund. That is a very simple approach and applies to any profession. And it is very commonsensical that you have to come to the level of the listener, the person who is on the other side. And that's a personal trait. That's a and I hope you have that. And if you have that personal trait, you will be able to connect. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Arun.
Hello, I'm Uma Shankar. Can I take the next question, please? Hello,
Yeah, Uma.
can I ask the next question?
Yes, Uma Shankar.
Yeah, actually, I'm Uma Shankar and I'm an army officer, retiring in 2 months' time.
Okay.
I have done a few NISM courses already, mutual fund distributor and investment advisory and all. How it is different from that? Because some dog barking at the back. Okay, so somebody's. Okay,
Yeah, I think
so
somewhere
what I
some
wanted to know
disturbance.
is this CFP, because the NSM course has got only 3-month validity, after that we have to pay for CPE course and all. So, firstly, is it this CFP, once we qualify, is it for a lifelong?
So you have to renew it every year.
Every year. Only renew or exam also?
So as of now, there are CPD points. So maybe you have to do continuation of some learning, and so maybe over a period of time, whatever the procedure is, whatever the rule is, every month, every year, you have to do certain procedure, and you will get it renewed. And that is with
So-
many such professional courses. So I think you
Okay,
would also
my
be
second
interested in.
question-
Yeah. What is your second?
My second question is, will the CFP, if we qualify, can we apply for the ARN directly without going through the NISM? And same way for the SEBI registration also as an investment advisory?
So my understanding, if I am correct, is that to become an RIA, CFP is a recognized qualification. So if you have done your CFP, you can apply for an RIA.
No, ARN certification with the AMFI.
ARN is basically just selling the mutual fund. Rajesh, correct me if
Yeah.
I am wrong.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So with this
So that
CFP
is-
allows us, or do I have
So
to again
ARN
pass
is
the
not difficult.
NISM?
For ARN, you don't have to worry too much. Only for ARN, you should not get into CFP. If you want to become an RIA, obviously, and ARN. So if you are a distributor, I think every distributor gets ARN, and so don't confuse it with getting ARN. ARN you will get. ARN is not an issue. Okay, and CFP
No,
will
with the
give the
CFP
overall.
automatically we get, sir.
You
My
have to
question
apply
is
for
that only-
ARN, Rajesh.
Yeah, apply,
Yeah,
but
you
they
won't get
ask for a,
automatically.
no, they ask for a NISM certification. In that, the CFP is not there.
Yeah, CFP cannot be the basis for ARN.
Yeah, so that is what I said. And secondly, to become a SEBI registered investment advisory, that is what even the previous person was also asking. Can I advise the somebody on the stock markets and all? So to advise others, we have to register with the SEBI. That is the mandatory thing.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes,
So then
yes.
only we can advise others. So
Correct.
with the CFP, can we go for the SEBI registration? Because they also ask for the NISM certification of investment advisory part 1 and part 2.
So my understanding is that if you have CFP, you can become an RIA. Rajesh or Alok, if you can.
What is RIA, sir? What is RIA?
Registered Investment Advisory.
So you see, FPSB board. So last time also when Noel was here, the FPSB board is working aggressively on tying up with regulators and making it linked to the other programs that regulators already have. Yeah, so which may in a way bring you waivers or exemptions on various parameters for other exams or other certifications that regulators have in India as of now. Yeah, so that's very much there. But then as of now, yes, as Arunji said, if you want an ARN, that's completely separate. That's not linked with CFP. If you want to be an RIA, that's completely different. That's not linked with CFP.
Okay, my third question, sir, regarding the retirement planning, what you are going to teach in this particular curriculum, is it same akin to the Indian scenario, or it's going to be the US scenario? Because the certification is of the US. Same way for
No,
the
no.
taxation also.
So it is primarily India because we are teaching it in India. And
Okay.
what Rajesh was telling or what I was hinting is that you get the global flavor also, because you should have an idea the best practices across the globe, and that is why it is something more you are getting. Not we are not giving at the cost of Indian thing. We are not getting global content. We are giving you some additional content which is global. Is that clear?
And Same thing for the taxation and
Yeah, obviously. So we are
Yeah,
going
so
to
if
tell
you,
you the taxes here and then little bit of flavor globally.
no,
so
no,
if you
this
look at
taxation, sir.
if you look at this, I just brought this slide back. So if you look at this, let's say sources of retirement cash flow or retirement cash flow, whether in India or US, the cash flow computation for retirement, arriving at what corpus you need, how you plan, that may remain the same, right? What may vary is the products that you plan for it, right? So that's
Okay.
what the overall concepts would be global, the elements would be global, but when you see from the planning and execution level, it will be very India specific.
No, sir, I beg to differ. Reason is the cash flows when it comes because the commutation factors are different from India and different for other countries,
No, factors
especially
may
for
be
the
different.
government
I
employees.
am talking
Yeah,
about the formula. The formula will be
So
no,
always
formula
my
is
limited point here is that whatever is applicable in India, you will definitely get.
right.
And in
okay.
addition, if you have something and you want to know something about global practices, you will know something more about that. So it is not global course just for the name of global that we talk about other countries and ignore India. We primarily talk about India and add a little bit of global flavor. I think that answers your
Absolutely.
question.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, good evening, sir. This is Sonal Luthra. Can I
Tell
talk?
me. Yeah, Sonal, tell me.
Yeah. Sir, actually, I have just completed CFP before lockdown. And basically, I am a cost accountant. But actually, I am in dilemma this time. I mean, should I join any practicing CFP for getting a practical knowledge or what are the job opportunities for me? Because at this scenario I'm not able, I mean we are not able to go out and so what is the right thing to do? Please guide me.
So first of all, congratulations that you have become a CFP.
Thank you, sir.
And second, you said you are a cost accountant also,
Yeah.
and that's an additional qualification. So
Mm.
now it is up to you. You have to ask yourself, as I said, that you should define success for yourself. If you want to set up your own practice, then please find a practicing CFP in your city. Which city you are?
I am in Mumbai, sir.
So Mumbai, there are many. There are so many, and so you will definitely able to connect. And also one general request for all of you: if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, please connect with me, and if possible, I would try to answer some of your queries there as a CFP. So you can go and join some CFP, work under him or her for some time, and then maybe set up your own practice. And there is a huge need of female planners also today, because we need more gender diversity. We want more women should come and do practice. But at the end of the day, if you want to get a job, then
Yeah.
also there are a lot of opportunities. So we talk to a lot of mutual fund HR heads, CEOs, and business heads, and there is going to be huge demand in the years to come. So let this COVID pass, and once I think lockdown is more or less over now, maybe in a month or two, you would get that opportunity to go and meet people also.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
So for a while, because Arunji, one second. Yeah, for a while, because you were talking about encouraging people, telling them the benefits of CFP, how it helps in career, and I am pretty sure you have motivated a lot of young ones too to be a CFP. So I just want to take 2 minutes here saying that, okay, so ICFP is India's first CFP education provider, and we have presence in Delhi and Mumbai, but online we are present everywhere, present across India. So we have virtual classes. Virtual classes means the classes coming right at your place, right? So you attend it virtually online. The classes happen over the weekend. Are the same faculty which teaches at the campus, the same faculty teaches you online over the Zoom on weekends. And when I'm saying that ICFP offers you classes, it's not just the classes per se. the elements that we bring across to you covers a lot of other things. So we have classes, we provide you concept books to study, workbooks to practice, we do group projects. Before the classes, you get review videos, you have review videos after the classes, you have online mock tests to assess yourself, assess your learnings, you do assignments, you have exclusive doubt clearing sessions before the exams. So now because exams happen once in a month, so before the exam, we have one exclusive doubt clearing session with that faculty too for you. Yeah, we have guest lectures, we have case studies. So a lot of these things are a part of the teaching, the coaching, the mentoring that we do for you when you aspire to do CFP. We have various options. You can study classroom, classroom, you can study virtually online, you can study in e-learning mode. E-learning is where you get the recorded classes, recorded elements with you. It's more of a DIY kind of, do it yourself kind of. But the best of all at this moment is virtual, because virtual is like you are studying in the live class. You are interacting with the faculty live, you are learning live from him. Yeah. And then because Arunji has motivated you a lot, so I'm pretty sure you are excited to do CFP. We also have very unique this offering where the student loan feature is integrated with the program. So meaning to say, if you want to do CFP, you are entitled for a 0% interest free. So absolutely interest free student loan as well, that arrangement we have for you. All you need to do is pay 10% upfront and then balance in the easy EMIs. Yeah, so that's what we make it very easy for you financially. We make it extremely relevant for you academically. So that's what the delivery is focused around. On top of all that, all those who have taken the pains today to join us today, to hear to us, to talk to us, for them, we have some very exclusive discounts on enrollment with ICOFP. What are those exclusive discounts? I'm not quoting it here. You have the numbers written over here, Delhi and Mumbai. Wherever you are, which center is closest to you, you can call either of them, you can talk to them. Our team is there to help you. You have seen the fees earlier, but then you have exclusive discounts running today. So don't miss that. Call that. Arunji is already there. So Arunji will continue answering you. Then you can always take note of these numbers. You can connect with them today. This offer is only for today, so don't forget, call them today. I am again connecting back Arunji so that the talks can continue. Yeah, so I have unmuted everybody again. You can go one by one. And Arunji, sir, yeah. I have one specific question to ask from you personally. So jab sab khatam ho jayenge, I will come back to you.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Sure, Rajesh. Yeah.
Sir, this is Satish Upadhyaya from APT, sir.
Yeah.
First of all, very nice to talk to you, sir. I think you got a vast experience in financial industry, so it will definitely be very, very helpful to all of us to hear from you about CFP course and how would it benefit for all of us. So, firstly, I heard that it is expired. This course will get expired. So, how long? What is the duration of this expiry, sir?
Every year you keep renewing, it will never expire. Every year you have to keep renewing it.
But what we were told is we'll have to renew it only if we open a new consultancy. If we get enrolled with a corporate or a job, we are not required to renew it. That's what I was told while I think it happened to speak with Mr. Rajesh also. So when I was joining.
So, Satish ji, you see, what we have categorically mentioned is that people do not tend to do that. Yes, let me reiterate the fact. CFP practitioners, CFP, somebody who is independent practitioners, tend to do it more. The people who get into the corporate world sometimes do not tend to do that. Rather, most of the times they don't tend to do that, to renew. Once they get into, they reap out the advantage of it in their career, and then they probably don't even tend to renew. That's what the statement that we have always made, and that's something which is very visible in the data as well. If you see, India has close to 7,000 people who have cleared CFP exams. And if you see the license holders as of now, it could be just somewhere around 1700 or 1800. Yeah. So that vast number is somebody who has qualified CFP exam, who is a qualified CFP professional, but has not renewed the license. Okay. So I hope I am very clear and I could make this point understood.
Good evening, sir. Divakar here, sir, from Hyderabad.
Yeah, Divakar.
Sir, just wanted to understand what would be the ideal time frame to complete this program, sir. If I opt for virtual classes.
So now I think you have to go by the module wise, and we have come out with the first module, and maybe next 2-3 months we will be coming out with other modules. So maybe the earliest someone can finish is 4 to 5 months. Am I correct, Rajesh?
Yeah, absolutely. 5 to 6 months is what it takes you to study, and then even if you clear one exam every month, right? So you end up clearing it in 5 to 6 months at the max.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Rajesh ji. Thank you.
Sir, is the exams are hello?
Yeah, go on.
Sir, are these exams offline mode or online mode? How it is, sir?
These are all online exams.
Offline means we have to come either to Delhi or Mumbai.
No, so there are multiple centers. Till now, FPSB had been doing these exams through NSE, right? In the new framework, they plan to do it online. So that will be rolled out soon. Yeah. But then the existing framework, yes, they have been doing it with NSE. So you have to go down to the NSE center for the exam.
So it is a pen and paper exam, sir. Totally.
No, it's an online exam. But
it's online exam. Earlier you were going to NSE. What Rajesh is telling that going ahead, we are working with an arrangement that you can sitting at your home, you can do it. Yeah. But that will take some time, and we will announce it at the right time.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, this is Akshay from Pune.
Yes,
actually, I just want can I opt this course from Pune location? And my second question is is it compulsory to pass every exam after 3 months? Like, will I have to attempt every exam after 3 months?
No, you can take your time, but obviously you would like to finish it at the earliest. But there is no such compulsion that you have to pass it in 3 months or 2 months.
Okay. And this course I can complete from Pune location, right?
You can do it from any location. So as Rajesh said that they have offline classes, they have virtual class, they have e-learning, and once you register with FPSB, once you join them, you will also get material from FPSB, which is also a great material. So I think you have all options available. You have to just decide that you want to do this.
Okay.
Good evening, sir. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Good evening, sir. I'm Priya from Mumbai. Is this course beneficial for the BBI student?
Yeah, obviously, but you have to decide that whether you are looking at this career at some point of time, and whatever you have done, as somebody said that he has done some technical course. If you have done any discipline, anything you have done, whichever stream you have done.
But I'm a banking student, so
then so there is no question. As a banking student, you have an idea about finance a little bit, and this is nothing but you are dealing in finance. Other qualities you should have, that you should obviously have the right kind of an attitude and temperament when you talk to clients and when you advise people. I think these are some soft skill which you will acquire over a period of time, and if you already have, then it is going to be positive for you when you do this safe course, and you can make a good career in this.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, this is Venkat. I would like to know what is the cost involved for renewing the license, sir. Thank you.
So as of now, it is $100, and depending on, I think that is what I can tell. As of now, it is $100. It is you have to pay to FPSB US, and once you pass this course, you will be obviously getting a mail where you can pay and how you can pay. That is it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes,
Good
I can
evening,
hear
sir.
you.
This is Siddhant from Nagpur.
Yeah, Siddhant.
Sir, I just wanted to know, as I'm an engineer. I'm from a technical background, and I am a professor. I'm an assistant professor in a safety college. I just wanted to know that if I can pursue this course, as my big brother suggested me to join the meeting and know about it. So, as many people asked you the questions, I found out that if I study regularly, so I will be able to complete this course, the 4 modules in 6 months. So is it possible for me to complete this module in 6 months? Because I don't
Yes.
have any.
Yes, very much, very much. The short answer is yes, you can.
Hello.
Yes.
A very good evening, sir. Apur this side from Indore. I just want to ask you, sir, once I will complete this course, so I'll be in the same profile, like in the I have to let the people know about the mutual funds. It will be a sales profile. Otherwise, I'll quit in other profiles. I can quit in other profiles like backend profile in which I have to make a research in particular areas, or what kind of job I can grab after once I will complete this course, sir.
See, you can grab any post, any job, if you have an interest in that. If you love business development, if you love going out, if you love meeting people, obviously you can give advice to them. If you want research on a back end and you want to know about company, you want to meet companies, or you want to become a tax consultant, so you can do anything because it has many facets. So it is depending on your interest, and anything and everything do with the finance, personal finance. You can take any job. It can be your independent setup, or you can join any bank, mutual fund, insurance company, fintech, all these organizations.
So just one thing, sir. I can join anywhere, right, sir?
Yes, yes, yes,
I
yes.
That's great, sir.
There
Thank
is
you
no
so much.
debar that a CFP cannot join this. You can join a treasury of a bank, you can join a practitioner, you can join a mutual fund, you can do operations in the back end. Because if you have some extra knowledge, if you know about money, and money has no color, money is money. So if you have something to do with finance and personal finance, you can join anywhere.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Good evening, Arunji. I am Vijay from Delhi,
Vijay,
and
bolo.
you have talked about the temperament.
Yes.
What temperament we need after completing CFP course?
Yes.
So when I say temperament, that means you should have that kind of a calmness, because you, at somebody said that whether I can advise stock market. So maybe if the stock market is going up and down, you should not go up and down. You should be calm. You should know a little bit about asset allocation. You should look at the 360 degree angle, and you should not have a feeling of entitlement. You should have a mindset of duty. That means the customer is the king, that you are doing something for the customer and not try to missell anything. So that is why we have an ethics element also in our CFP course. So I think over a period of time, you will realize that if you don't have these kind of negative traits, maybe if you are not able to having the answer any question, you should go and study about that. Maybe that's what I say always, that knowledge of your ego is knowledge, and ego of your knowledge is ego. Maybe if you don't understand anything, you read about this and then go and answer. So that is called the right temperament. It's not like you are there and you are supposed to know everything. You should try to know everything, and you should try to be better than yesterday. I think all this constitute your temperament.
Thank you so much, sir.
नमस्कार अरुण जी।
नमस्कार।
नमस्कार अरुण जी, मैं धीरज शर्मा बोल रहा हूँ दिल्ली से।
बोलिए धीरज जी।
सर मैं इसका पासिंग परसेंटेज पूछना चाह रहा था, बिकॉज आई एम एन एवरेज स्टूडेंट। तो पासिंग परसेंटेज क्या रहता है नॉर्मली? सीए में 5% 4% रहता है।
अच्छा, ये आई थिंक राजेश जी या आलोक जी कुछ हेल्प कर सकते हैं तो बताइए।
So Arun ji, in the new framework, The minimum passing marks has not been declared as of now, because FPSB would be doing the first assessment in August last week, and then probably after a couple of this examination happens, they would be able to arrive at what percentage would be there. As of now, passing would be based on a comparative analysis. It will be more of as in what kind, how many students come in what percentile. On that basis, they will do. There is no predefined cutoff as of now.
No, I'm not talking about the cutoff. I'm
इनका
talking about
चिंता
the
ये है
percentage
राजेश जी इनका चिंता ये है कि सीए में 4-5% लोग पास होते हैं.
Okay.
तो इनका ये चिंता है कि ये कह रहे हैं कि आई एम एवरेज स्टूडेंट, तो मेरा चांसेस क्या है? सो कैन यू अटेम्प्ट दिस?
Okay, so as much as our मैं अपना बता सकता हूँ, at ICFP our passing percentage is close to 60%. Okay, and the other
that is great.
Yeah, the another 40% again, that largely comprises of people who were not very serious about doing it. Okay, largely comprises of those people who were not very serious about doing it, who took a plunge but then later on gave it up. Yeah.
Right, sir. My next question is this: I am especially looking for the estate planning or estate management. So will this help me to complete the course, or there is any separate module?
नहीं सी अगर आप पूरा CFP करेंगे, you will get estate management within that, in the third module.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Dheeraj. Bye.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
मैं राजेश.
Hello,
sir. Can I speak? मैं राजेश आदित्य.
बोलिए.
From Jamshedpur. Sir, I have been working in LIC last 20 years and as a distributor last 1 year. How would it help me, sir?
So as I said, and as Rajesh also explained, that if you do CFP, you will not only be talking about insurance, you will be talking about the entire landscape of financial planning. And right now, maybe you are doing only LIC, and maybe you know a little bit about insurance. Once you become a CFP, you will be truly a financial planner, and you can talk about tax, you can talk about pension, you can talk about investments and other things. So this will give you a complete idea about overall 360-degree financial planning landscape.
Yes, sir, one more question I have. Can I have job in any AMC, or what would be the package, sir, if I get any job in AMC?
I think it's very difficult to tell me the package, and depending on what grade you join, if you join an officer, deputy manager, manager, so it will be at par with that particular grade.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Tell me.
Yeah, I'm Mansi. My question was, in FPSB USA, I saw there it's written that the annual fees which we are required to pay at the time of registration, it's for 1 year, and within the time, if we clear all the exam, it's okay. Otherwise, we have to pay for another 1 year registration. So I was asking that when are the exams will be actually during this lockdown period, we don't know when will be the exams will conducted. You have any idea at what time will the exams be conducted for the first wala level?
Alok, can you try this if you are there?
FPSB is far ahead, Mansi. Beyond defying all this lockdown and all, FPSB is going to conduct the first level 1 examination between August 19 to August 23rd.
Okay.
Yeah. So they are not letting you stop anywhere. So that's a very great initiative that they have taken. There is no blockage. The new level 2 curriculum has also been introduced. Level 1 exams are also going to happen very soon. Level 3 is in the making. Yeah, so it's all going on and on. There is nothing which is going
so then I can register with FPSB right today only?
Yeah, you should.
Alok, can you also add something you were trying to speak?
Yeah. Rajesh and Arun, can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you.
Okay. So Mansi, if I understood correctly, you are asking about the exams of the legacy student. You are a student of the old program, not the new program.
No. She is asking for level 1 only. Investment specialist.
Investment specialist.
Okay, so you are a student of the new program.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the new programs, every month, the third week, 5 days are defined. So 5 days of third week of every month are defined for examination. It is not like earlier where every day the exam was open. Now going forward, every month, third week, 5 days are defined, and we will give information to the students and to the EPs also, and the exam window will be open. The student can book his own exam. So starting from August 18th, in the month of August, the window starts from August 18 to August 22. So 5 days. But
Okay,
for
but
be eligible to sit for an exam, your education provider has to approve first that you are ready to take the exam. And when you are ready, when we get that confirmation that you are ready to take the exam from the education provider, then you will be able to book seat for your exam.
how I will be confirmed whether I am ready or not?
So you
Like I
need to
am
check.
taking e-learning classes from ICOFP. I have
Yes.
enrolled for e-learning classes
Yes.
for the
Yes.
July batch.
Yes.
I have got only 2-3 videos yet and books. I
Yes.
haven't started yet. I saw just the I have not got the full study videos for
Okay.
the level 1. So I was when to
Rajesh
start
can
and
try
when to
this
do
answer.
it.
Rajesh can attempt. Yeah.
So, Mansi, I will check what videos you have got, what classes you have got. But then coming back to the process that Alokji was explaining. So what will happen is once your curriculum is over, we will conduct a quick online check with you, online test with you, mock with you. And basis that, and then after that, a pre-exam doubt clearing session, as I mentioned. So after that, the faculty would come and say that yes, these many candidates are ready to take the exam. We found them ready to take the exams. And then we will say that yes, you are eligible for the exams. We will go and mark in our backend system.
Okay.
And then
And after that, we have we can decide whether to give in August or September. It's on us when we can give the exam.
obviously, yes, you are correct. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi, is it Arun, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, Arun, sir,
Please.
this is Vivek.
Yeah,
First
Vivek.
of all, it was a very eye-opening session for me. I really was looking forward. Sir, I was facing some problem with CFP challenge program. I had enrolled for the same. If you can allow me, can I write to you about the problem I was facing? How can I get in touch with you, sir?
So
for the
I
same?
think Alok is there. Alok, can you tell him the ID or where should he write? Alok?
Arun, I know the issue which Vivek has been facing. So
Okay.
Vivek, you can write to me or Arun. I know your background. I know the issue what you have been facing.
Oh,
And
that's great. That's
you have,
great.
yeah, you have
we are
already.
same team. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. That's great. And then Alok, I will be looking forward how best I can be enrolled for the same as looking forward for this prestigious program.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Do we have more questions from the audience?
Yeah.
Hi.
Yes, we can hear you.
Sir, actually I inquired about the course, but I think कुछ network issue था तो मैंने थोड़ा late login किया. I wanted to ask if ये CFP का course सिर्फ हमारे financial planning के लिए help करेगा या it can help me for making a relevant answer to my policies and bonds.
Relevant answer.
हाँ, because I was like कि अगर मैं ये course करती हूँ so what will be the basic thing? Will I be selling only policies or working on policies? या फिर I will be having a knowledge to switch on my account to time market developments.
आप इसमें you can do anything. You can do that insurance, whatever policies, bonds you are saying. You can sell different asset classes. You can do pension. You can do retirement planning. You can do tax planning. You can do estate planning. It is complete course for personal management, personal finance management. So I think it is a great course in that way that it opens that box that you can get into any of the areas within the personal financial space. So it is not only selling policies and bonds. Okay, it's much
Thank
broader.
you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, yes, we can hear you. Please tell.
Hello, I am Yukta. So I just wanted to ask that I have just cleared my 12th and I wanted to register for the CFP course. And I saw a YouTube video relating to this which said that if we want to self-study, like if we want to study from the material that the FBSP provides, we will have to give a examination, and if we pass that examination only then we can self-study. Like if I don't want to go for an education provider and if I want to self-study, I will have to clear an exam, but the website doesn't give much details about it.
Alok, you want to attempt this?
Yes.
Or, yeah.
Yes,
What is that?
Yukta,
What is that?
the website doesn't give you detail because there is no such thing. If you want to go, if you want to do self-study, you can do self-study. There is no pre-examination for registering as a self-study. However, at the same time, I will also say, especially since you have just completed 12th, it is always, this is a very niche and a very in-depth program. It will be beneficial if you go through a authorized education provider. It will be difficult to pursue this program without having any background of finance and doing the program on self-study. It will be very challenging. But having said that, there is no prerequisite test conducted by FPSB for you to clear and then register for self-study.
No, Alokji, I believe there is a slight disconnect the way Yukta presented her question. So Yukta, there is no prerequisite test as Alokji has said, but what you would have seen on the videos is before taking the final exam, if you are on a self-study mode, then before taking the final exam, you need to take a pre-qualifier test there. After completion of your study, if you are on the self-study path, you need to take an online pre-qualifier before taking the final exam. Okay, so that's and which with an EP, we teach you, we coach you, so our faculties certify that yes, you are eligible for the exam. Yeah, so both ways it's the same thing, that you are getting certified that you are eligible to take the exam. So that's the key thing. But as now again to summarize this, to register there is no pre-qualifier exam, but to appear at the exam, yes, there is a small pre-qualifier that you have to take if you are going through a self-study route.
Okay, so thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hello, sir. This is Venkat again.
Yeah, Venkat.
Is it that we have to study this course? Now, currently, 4 modules are involved in this. So, is it that if we enroll, we have to do all 4, or we can go module by module wise?
You have to go module by module wise, and once you complete all 4, you will become a CFP.
What I mean is, like, if we are enrolling for the first module, that is like investment planning.
Yeah.
So once we complete it, then can we take a break or something and again enroll for the second module that way?
Yeah, I think you can take a break, and obviously one after the another you have to do. If some people would want to finish it in 6 months, some people would take a year or so. So depending on you, how fast you become a CFP, you will accordingly plan your schedule.
And even with breaks, our advice would be that you look at wrapping it up in less than a year time, so that your registration fee is valid for a year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, what is the total fee?
Rajesh is the person. Rajesh, please.
What is the total fees? The total expenses.
You are talking about FPSB total, or you are talking about ICFP's total?
Total, sir. Total. How much would I have to spend for all?
Okay. So FPSB registration fee is $120. Okay. So after the
165.
165. Yeah. Sorry. So registration fee is $165. After that, what you
is in Indian rupee?
Come again? So you keep multiplying.
Please in Indian rupees, sir, not in dollars.
No. $165. Again, let me say dollars because you will be paying the fee in dollars. You will not be paying the fee in Indian rupees. Yeah. So $165 for the registration fee. Then you will have to enroll and in the online learning management system of FPSP, where you get their wonderful ebooks, the learning content, which is given by FPSP. That's standard learning content. Okay, so for that you pay $60 for the each of these 3 levels and $120 for the final one. That makes $300 for the content for the whole program. But level 1, the investment specialist module only, if you talk about, then it's $60 that you will have to pay right now. So $165 for registration, $60 for your study materials, the content, the online content from FPSP, right? Then you, when you appear at the exam, the examination fee is $61. Right, Alokji? $61.
Yes.
Yeah. So the examination fee is $61 for the 3 modules, 3 levels. And then again, the final module is $122. Yeah, CFP. So as of now, considering that level 1, the investment specialist module is there, what you will have to pay is $165 for registration, $60 for your online content, and $61 when you enroll for the exam. Coming to ICOFP, when you join ICOFP for studying for CFP program, so as I was showing in the previous slides, you have 3 options to study: classroom, virtual, and e-learning. Classroom today does not exist because of this lockdown. So you have virtual and e-learning platforms. Virtual is, the fee of the virtual is $37,500. The fee of e-learning is $27,500. But again, to reiterate, today for the webinar participants, there is an exclusive discount. You can call on those numbers that we have mentioned and we have shared in the chat. Atul, if you can share the number again in the chat. So you can call on those numbers. My team will be more than happy to help you out. Atul, if you can share the number again. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes.
Are you hearing me? I am Sunil.
Sunil, bolo. Yeah.
Yeah. I am a retired executive from a PSU.
Okay.
What I can look forward after doing this course?
So if you have a passion, if you have an interest to advise people on financial investment, advise people on retirement, advise people on tax, I think then this is the right course for you. And if you have that kind of experience, as you said, you are a retired from an PSU bank. And
Not bank. I'm a, by profession, I'm a mechanical engineer and retired from a very senior position.
Okay. But you have an interest in financial.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so then this is the right course because you will earn some income also and you will enjoy and share your experiences of all these years and maybe connect with people and know their problems and you will be solving their problem. I think this is a very satisfied feeling once you do this, and along with that, obviously you will earn money also.
But
I think this is a good profession. Yeah.
Do we need? Do I need to complete a course, CFP course for that?
Yeah, obviously you have to do some course if you have to set up your credentials. If you want to go and tell people, so you will never go to a doctor who has not done his MBBS or MD. Na? You will have more faith on a doctor who has done his MD. Otherwise, you will not take his tablets. Otherwise, anybody can advise anyone. So if this course is there, this will help you to learn and then maybe try that and you will be looking at the risk also. You will be looking at investment option also. I think this is a great course for that.
And how it is comparable with the NISM? Somebody was referring NISM. I am not aware about it.
So as I said that there are many courses somebody talked about NISM, somebody talked about CFA. So there are many, but as the name suggests, this is called the Certified Financial Planner. If you have an interest in advising people on their assets, on their retirement, on their pension, on their estate planning, then this is the right course for you. And that is why we can talk more about our course rather than to looking at so many other courses. But this is one of the recognized global course where you get that excellence in 27 countries. It is being done. So I think that's a very prestigious course.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Arun.
Thank you, Sunil.
Arunji, I will my question and then we'll come back again to the audience.
Yeah.
You have written a very popular book, Yogi on Dalal. I'm pretty sure some of our audience would have also read your book. So in that book, as much as I remember, I may be wrong, and if I'm wrong, then you please correct me. In that book, you talk about some 20 or 22 traits of investors.
Correct.
Some
These are
22
22 traits, yeah.
Okay, 22 traits which impact the investor behavior.
Correct.
So that book was more of the investor perspective. Now, because I have the audience here who are supposed to be on the different side of the table, they are more of financial planners, financial advisors, or aspiring financial planners. So, what do you feel that how should they decode that investor perspective? When a client deals with them, how does the client look at them? How do they need to build their credibility? What are the client's expectations from them on all this?
So this book is about the psychology of an investor. When I say psychology of the investor, I think the same thing applies to the psychology of the advisor also. And there are many traits. As I said, there are 22. So maybe if I can talk about 2-3, you will understand that these are universal laws. It is not like applies only to the investor side. So maybe I have used the Yoga Sutras of ancient time and explained that in detail and connected that with the psychology of a person. Now the person can be an investor, the person can be an advisor. So let us talk about, there are some 5 kleshas which I talk. So the first klesha is avidya, that you have to remove avidya. So that applies to an advisor. And these are the kleshas which you can minimize. You cannot remove these kleshas. So if I say avidya, that means you should get more vidya. So as an advisor, obviously you should get more vidya. You should do your CFP first. Then you should know, you will know everything about asset classes. You will know about planning. You will know about tax, retirement and all. So this is one. Second klesha is, I talked about it, which is called asmita. Again, this is part of Yoga Sutra. So you have to leave your ego. You have to learn from others. If you are not doing estate planning every day, go to a person who is actually practicing estate planning and learn from him in addition to whatever you have learned in CFP. So learn from people. That is second. So you have to minimize this klesha. Again, you cannot remove your ego at all. You will have always some ego still left. Third is called raga, that you should not have attachment towards a particular asset class. You should not only sell stock market. As someone asked me about stock market, somebody only sell mutual fund, somebody will only sell gold, somebody will only sell property. So you cannot have attachment with one single asset class. So when you talk to your investor, please show him the asset allocation. The fourth one is that dvesha, that don't hate assets also, that I don't like gold, I don't like stock market, because once you lost money, that doesn't mean that you will always lose money. You can always buy better stocks. Or you don't hate gold, because for 5 years gold didn't do anything, and for last 6 months, you know gold, how the gold has gone from 30,000 to 50,000. So you can't hate gold that because 5 years it was not giving you any income. And the fifth is the fear, abhinivesh. That also you have to minimize, that you should not be worried too much, because obviously we are all worried about pandemic now, we are all worried about COVID now, but at one point of time it will also go. We are just a vaccine away from this place, and this has given you a lot of opportunities. We are sitting here and I am talking to you and talking to people sitting in Indore, Delhi and some other places. So these are the 5 kleshas, which is avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha, panch klesha. So this is how I have explained the psyche of a person, whether the person can be an investor or he can be an advisor. I think be aware of these things and you will do well in life.
So those of the aspiring advisors here, my advice, pick out that book, maybe order it on Amazon, and trust me, read it, connect with Arunji. He will throw more light on how to decode the investor behavior, investor psyche.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Nitin.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go on. We can hear you.
Sir, if I completed this course and after that I join any firm, any brokerage firm, after that 1 year I compulsory to renew this license.
Yes, every year you have to renew.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So if there are no more questions, Rajesh can take a call. And
is there any other question that you would love to talk to? Maybe Arunji, Alokji, me, anybody?
Hello. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, go on. Arunji can hear you.
Divya Shankar. Hello.
Boliye. Yes.
Yeah. I'm Jadhav from Nasik. I wanted to know what is the logic behind renewing license every year.
Logic. So
Why?
So that is the practice globally for this course. If you have to be part of this course, you have to follow the rules. For every sport there is a rule, for every profession there is a rule, for every certification there is a rule. And the idea is, the objective is that the things are changing so fast. So one has to know what is happening. So that is what we call the continuing education. So if you have to review your certification, you have to do certain activities, certain things, so that you renew your certification, that you are updated with the and there are many professional courses. I think most of the professional courses where they have this criteria for renewing the course at specific intervals. So it may be 1 year for most of the courses, it may be 2 years for some courses, but I think that is what is logically also correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions that we have today? No? Okay, so with that, I would probably say a goodbye to everyone and would like to bring it to an end. Thank you so much, Arunji, for joining us. Thank you for taking out your valuable time and being with us today. I am pretty sure the way you talk to people, the way you motivated them for their careers, that will help them a lot.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Your presence for those few expert answers were always a pleasure.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you, Alok. Thank you all. I also enjoyed my interaction. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
And Arunji, I would love to call you on for a guest lecture with my CFP batches as well.
Yeah, sure. Anytime.
I will connect you offline for that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you all. Signing off.
తీసుకెళ్ళు అయిపోయిందిరా పొద్దు షటిల్ పైన